Hey guys, gals, and Jedi, it's Josh from Josh Levine Speaks, and I know you're going to love today's show, or Episode 1 with no Jar Jar Binks. It's the latest and greatest in the world of Star Wars action figures, at auction that is. And before I get started, if you're new to my channel, I do tend to focus on the auction world and the secondary market and its subculture. So, basically, it's the world of downsizing, liquidation, estate sales, yard sales, and I promise you're always going to learn something, and of course, I'll sprinkle in some useless trivia so you can impress your friends or just annoy them. So, if this sounds good to you, before you leave, subscribe below, turn on notifications, and I will alert you to each and every new episode. Give this video a thumbs up, leave some comments below, it really helps me out. That way I know what you like and want more of. So, thank you, and I really hope you enjoy this episode. Let's dive in. As a lot of you already know who are subscribers, I got in this business by selling vintage toys and board games. And I've said several times in other episodes, Star Wars just keeps amazing me. I've been telling people to sell their collections before the bottom drops out over and over again, and they just keep performing, making me look bad each and every time. It'd be like me telling you to sell your Google stock when it hit $250 in 2007. You know, just take the win, take your money, but then you'd hang me when it hit $1,500 like it did just a few months ago. I tell you, in most genres of toys, I would have been correct. I always say, and it usually plays out, strike while the iron's hot. Meaning, when you first hear crazy auction prices going on, sell before everyone else sells, floods the market, and drives all the prices down. But Star Wars just keeps rising. Even when I think it can't get any higher, it just seems to. I believe it's the love of the Force that just has bridged so many generations, and therefore more generations of collectors, so it keeps going. I still feel like you are playing Russian roulette if you have an amazing collection and you're sitting on it, but that's just me. The question is, and has always been with Star Wars, when the next new series of movies or adaptations come out, will the original 1970s and 80s figures strike again, or strike back, or have these crazy explosions in their prices? So let me tell you what's been going on. And when you hear these prices, you really, take note to what I'm saying. And full disclosure, the following are actually auction records from Kenner Star Wars action figures. I'm only focusing on the 3 3/4 inch action figures that you would have bought at the store or mailed away for. I tried to avoid duplicate figures of the same character so you had a good cross sample of the crazy. I believe all these records too in today's episode come from Hakes in York, Pennsylvania. They're one of the leading collectible toy auctions in the world. I do not mean for this episode to be a commercial for them, but in the past few years it seems like they have a corner on this market, or they've had the best collections hit the market. So here we go. Let's focus on 10. At number 10, a 12-back carded sand people. Why they don't call it a sand person. The card said sand people, but you get one. But anyway, it was graded AFA 75, excellent, near mint, and it brought just under $11,400 this past November at a great Hakes auction with a lot of figures, and it was a no punch. Okay, there was a lot of action figure nerd language in there, so let me unpack it for you. A 12-back means the packaging, the back of the packaging, featured the 12 figures that were available at the time of release. Definitely one of the most popular with collectors and generally command the highest prices. Also, there are instructions on the 12-back for using the telescoping lightsaber feature that was originally planned for Luke, Ben, and Darth. This version of the lightsaber was dropped, but the text still made it onto the packaging, kind of like an error. Next is the term graded AFA. What's that? It's a grading system by the Action Figure Authority. Have a look here. The grading is generally accepted as the final word on condition for collectors. It was a way to homogenize the system. And last, the term no punch. As you may know, the cardboard cards on action figures had a little tab where you would hang them on a display, usually on a store hook. And finding one that's unpunched means it never hit the store display, and that's a premium for sure. Have a look. I tried to show you what the little tabbies look like, but I'm sure you know. Okay, now that you got that, I'm going to move a lot quicker with the nerd terms. Number 9, a Star Wars Jawa 12-back AFA 85 with vinyl cape brought $18,300 at Hakes in July 2018. That's a lot of Jawa. Number 8, an AFA 95 graded mint. This was mint 12-back Princess Leia Organa brought 25,000 bucks in March 2018, and we just keep going. At number 7, this one's an odd duck. It's an Empire Strikes Back Walrus Man sample card with a Return of the Jedi Bib Fortuna action figure mounted on it. It was graded AFA 80 near mint and brought $28,500 this past November at Hakes in York. Again, think of the packaging like an error, like a baseball card. Number 6, this is a rare Star Wars, The Power of the Force mail-away prototype of Anakin Skywalker, brought $29,600 in November of 2017. The mail-aways required you to cut proof of purchase corners out of the card backs of the other figures, in this case, 5 figures, and they would mail you a figure back in return. Cool marketing idea, but a brutal disfigurement of the cards and what would have been quite a collectible had you not cut it up. So, makes you at least glad that the mail-aways have some value. Anyway, no use crying over spilt milk. Number 5, this is my only non-Kenner action figure, and it's Brazilian. It's from the Star Wars Droid TV series collection of action figures, and his name is Vlocks, and he was by a company called Glasslight, not Kenner. Graded AFA 60, excellent. It brought $38,500 in November of 2018. Known to be the rarest of all Star Wars figures released, the figure Vlocks was an obscure character from a very short-lived Droids cartoon. It was scheduled for release in the US by Kenner in the second series of Droids action figures, but due to the cancellation of the TV show, it was never released. So it's super rare. So call all your Brazilian friends. How do you say, check out those thrift shops in Brazilian? Number 4. We go back to the classic 12 backs, a carded Luke Skywalker graded AFA 95. Now that's mint with the double telescoping yellow lightsaber. That rare version I told you about earlier brought $42,900 in November of 2017 at Hakes in York, Pennsylvania. And as you'll see, these double telescoping lightsabers are the big money because they're rare. Number 3. Just a few months ago, the version of Darth Vader featuring that lightsaber, also carded and graded AFA 75, brought $62,800. And this one is a great example of me being wrong. When one sold for $29,000 a few years back, I sounded the alarm to everyone I knew. I wrote an article about it in the paper, and I said, we just hit the crazy town. It's time to sell your collections. And now $62,800 proves they weren't done climbing. Number 2, at the same sale, a carded Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi with his version of the double telescoping lightsaber. I have a hard time saying telescoping. Brought $64,900. So here we are at number 1, and here's some crazy auction awesomeness and good fun if you're now completely desensitized to these outrageous prices, and this is the last figure in my video. This is known as the Holy Grail of Star Wars toys. It's the Boba Fett J-slot rocket-firing prototype, which did not disappoint. It brought $185,850, and Hakes has a new Star Wars action figure record on their hands. Sweet Lord Vader, where do prices go from here? Are you feeling bullish on the Star Wars stock market? Or like me, bearish or squeamish for those sitting back and waiting? I do want to end with this. The average retail value for a common Star Wars loose action figure is $2 to $5. The average loose vintage figure from the 77 to 85 is worth $10 to $20. Sealed Star Wars action figures produced between 1977 and 85 are what you're looking for, and they're worth $100 to $200. But in some cases, as you can see, these rare examples, $1,000, $10,000, get them graded, do your homework. There are great sites out there, and I got all the links below for you to click and have a look at what you're looking for, some of the rare sites. Thank you guys for having these websites out there because it makes our jobs a lot easier as appraisers. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed making it. Please like, click subscribe, turn on the little notification bell, place your comments below. Please feel free to share some of your show ideas. That's where I get these from. All my contacts and social media are below. Let me know if you'd like a video on Star Wars props at auction, because man, there's some crazy prices, or other toy genres like Star Trek, Legos, Transformers. You tell me. Make sure you check out my new blog page at joshlevinespeaks.com/blog if you like this sort of thing. Plus, I got all my links there. Until we stream again, my friends, and may the Force be with you.